We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
What is going on, everyone? You'll have to excuse a little bit of noise in the background. That's my co-host, my kitten, Horace. I'm Abe, your host, and welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast. I usually like to open up with how I'm doing and what's going on. I just got off being grounded from YouTube for a week. I know I had made a video, a Secret Society Conspiracy Corner episode about the Templars, and I had mentioned that I got a strike. I actually didn't get a strike. Apparently, because YouTube sends these to you, like notifies you, but when you try to like click on it, it just disappears real quick. I had gotten, I guess, like a warning was the first one. And then the other day, I got an actual strike. The first one was a warning on an Ellen DeGeneres video that I made 1 billion years ago, and literally it was a video while I was driving. Like, I didn't put too much thought into it. And then the second one was honestly probably my biggest, most explosive episode of Conspiracy Corner Podcast, which was all about adrenochrome and Hillary Clinton and all that jazz. But yeah, bullying for both, they said. Poor millionaires. Poor millionaires. That's all I can say. It must be rough to be a millionaire. So yeah, I got grounded for a week. And I don't know. Here's my game plan. I kind of was depressed for like a couple days. Because when they gave me my strike, and I was like, at the exact same time, all this election fraud was going on. And I'll just say it like it is. It's election fraud. Watch this video get taken down. I don't even know if I should even talk. Well, yeah, I don't care. I'll talk about that here in a minute. Let me just tell you what's been going on in my life. Work's been good. Been working my ass off like crazy still. So I try to upload as much episodes as possible. I am going cross-platform. Because I'm tired of YouTube. So here's my plan, basically, is me and Sammy, my wife and the usual co-host whenever she's on here, because honestly we work totally different shifts and stuff. She is setting me up because I'm not very tech savvy. She's more of the tech savvy one. She's setting me up with a BitChute account. So we're going to be on BitChute now. Also. And I'm kind of doing what Alex Jones did. Basically is like every time that YouTube would give him a strike or do something, instead of giving up, because at first, I ain't gonna lie, for like the first couple days, I was like, what do I do? I kept talking to my wife. I was depressed. I'm like, do I just give up? And I don't know, I just heard this Alex Jones interview, and I was like, man, and that's what he was saying. Every time that people would fuck with him, he would just double down. And he became more successful by doubling down than he ever was on YouTube. He actually made more money off of YouTube than on YouTube. So it's like, I don't know. I just honestly, like, each time I get a strike, I'm just going to double down. I only get 3 strikes and I'm out. So I'm on strike 1. I had a warning, and now I got my first strike officially. So I didn't want you all thinking I was lying. I just misunderstood. I thought that I didn't know they give warning first, so I was like, well, fuck, I got a first strike. And then the other day I was like, god damn, I got second strike. And Sammy looked it up online and was like, no, you're only on your first strike. The first one was a warning. And I was like, okay. But yeah, it's fucking crazy. But yeah, I'm starting an account on BitChute, so you're gonna be able to find me there. And what I'm going to do, here's my game plan, is upload every Conspiracy Corner podcast episode to BitChute, because BitChute, they're not gonna fucking take me down. And the Adrenochrome episode is going to be on BitChute only. So, well, it's on BitChute and Spotify. If you guys listen to us on Spotify, we're also, I try to keep a piece of paper with all the different places we're at, but for some reason this paper keeps disappearing. But we're also, yeah, I don't know where the paper's at. That's getting really annoying because I keep trying to promote where else you can find me, and every single time I try to find this paper, it's gone. But yeah, we're on Spotify, and we're starting a BitChute, so hopefully soon we'll have the BitChute up. So if it seems like some of the episodes are kind of softer, and if you only watch us on YouTube, you're only going to get the soft core conspiracies. If you watch us and listen to us on BitChute and Spotify, you could still hear the hardcore stuff, the heavy hitting black pill stuff, you know. But yeah, I mean, you guys, if you guys want to hear the whole broadcast and different episodes, you're probably gonna have to go cross-platform. Sadly, I looked up stats the other day. I think like 70% of Americans use YouTube, so it's like, sadly, they are the biggest output of independent people making independent media, you know. But yeah, they did their first little purge a while back when Hunter Biden's laptop got exposed, and then they did their recent purge because of the elections. So they're just, anytime something big is going on, they're just going to keep purging. And my thing is I'm on strike 1. If I get strike 2, I'm just going to make a backup channel on YouTube. I'm just going to double down. And then I will also put my stuff up on another website. So every time that YouTube fucks with me, I'm just going to double down. I'm going to be on so many different platforms that it's going to be insane. And I'm going to stay on YouTube because all these big channels that keep getting shut down, they just keep re-uploading on second channels. I mean, you can't stop us, man. Sorry to burst your bubble, YouTube, but you can't stop us, dude. The truth will prevail. But yeah, I mean, this election stuff, I wanted to make a video sooner about it. So I'll go ahead and talk about that now. I think it's fucking crazy. When you start doing the research of the electronic voting machines, Dominion, turns out that they are basically funded by Democrats. So that's a big red flag right there. They're glitching out and shit. Um, I don't know. I did a tarot card reading the other day, and it said that Trump would win, but that doesn't mean anything because technically he could have won, but the media is already saying that Biden is the elected president. And it's like, by the way, the media doesn't choose who becomes president. The voting wasn't even over. I remember I work third shift, so I was listening to, the live stream of basically the voting process, like who's going to win election night, and almost all of media just cut off in the middle of it. And my buddy was listening to like a Democrat run live stream, and he's like, it just cut off. I don't know what happened. I'm like, yeah, probably because Trump started winning, you know? Um, Even Trump, literally, the speech he made that night was like, I don't know why everything just stopped. And it's like, well, we know why it's just stopped because they don't want you to win, dude. The deep state does not want to go down. They would like to keep using their achrome, if you catch my drift. But me and Sammy voted, which I've already spoke about that. What was going on. We live here in Harrisburg, and I don't care to tell my town because if you find where I live, I literally live next door to a cop, and then across the street is another cop. So feel bad for the person that tries to fuck with me because you're gonna have to deal with me and two cops. So have fun getting your brains blown out if you try to fuck with me. But yeah, I was looking in the local newspaper, which is, I mean, it's a local newspaper. It's more truthful than the mainstream news that you're gonna see like Fox or CNN. Um, and it was saying basically that Kentucky came out Republican very quickly. I don't think any voter fraud stuff was going on here. Um, our elections, our local elections, it said statistically came out huge amount Republican. Um, let's see, what else was that? Oh yeah, with the machines too. Another thing that's popping up is they're giving people Sharpies, and the Sharpies aren't even counting. You know, um, that's crooked. I mean, there's so much that I'm not even getting into it. Uh, I don't want to get this video taken down. I just now got back on the platform. You guys can investigate it yourselves. I'll just say this, that they're giving Sharpies to people. They're letting people view, but from like 100 feet away. They're letting people, or they're blocking the windows out with cardboard. The Dominion electronic system is fucking crooked. You catch my drift. Like they're just fucking with shit. There's Veritas is opening up a bunch of info about it. People on the inside coming out and speaking about it. There's been secret audio of post office managers saying a bunch of crazy shit. Basically, yeah, secret recordings of them. I mean, it's a whole nother episode on its own, and I'm not even gonna touch it with a 10-foot pole because I just now got back from being grounded from YouTube. So I'd really not like to get strike two the day I get back. So that's what's going on. As far as my personal life, it's been pretty good. I've been working. I feel pretty good physically, mentally. I feel pretty good. My birthday's coming up, so Sammy, she went ahead and bought me two birthday presents, which was awesome. One of them was Bill and Ted, the new movie that came out. I forget what it was called. I don't know. We watched it though. I loved it, but I love Bill and Ted, I know it's like a cheesy B movie, but to me it's like kind of like a stoner classic, you know. Um, I thought it was awesome, so we watched it. We kind of had like a marathon night. We watched the first two old Bill and Ted's, and then watched the new one. Ate some popcorn because both of us weren't feeling too well that day. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. um, and then my other gift she got me was a Rockfin subscription. So shout out to Rockfin, shout out to Sam Tripoli. He has a podcast that I've been wanting to listen to for a while. It's called Zero. It's basically like a spirituality podcast. Um, it delves a tiny bit into conspiracies, but he has his main podcast, which is Tinfoil Hat, on YouTube, that talks all about conspiracy theories and stuff. So I wanted to hear like his new stuff, um, and it's a really good podcast. The only complaint that I have is that the episodes sometimes can be like super short, but I understand why, because he hasn't been posting much on Tinfoil Hat, and I was like, man, that sucks. What is he doing? And come to find out, now that Sammy bought me the subscription to Rockfin, I've been listening to Zero, his other podcast, his spirituality podcast, and he literally does 5 separate podcasts. And I'm like, damn, dude. Like, I don't know. It makes me kind of feel bad for him because, like, I've seen some of his Tinfoil Hat podcast, and he's like a friend of Bill, like me, you know. Which he wouldn't care me sharing that because he shares it on his podcast. But I know, like, looking at the comment section and stuff, he'll be falling asleep in the middle of a podcast or something, and people are like, "Oh, Sam Tripoli's fucked up," you know, and it's like, dude, he literally does like 5 different podcasts like daily. Like, that's his full-time job, is literally to be behind a microphone and talk all day. Like, I don't know, the dude's a workaholic, you know, like, leave him alone. And he's an older man. Like, I don't know. People don't care though. People are just, they become keyboard warriors, and it cracks me up too. Is like, I get people that troll me sometimes, and or I'll be watching someone else's video and I'll make a comment, and then I got someone who's being an asshole, and I'm like, it's kind of funny that I'm not hiding behind some like fake profile name. I literally use my actual name. I put out content on this platform, and you're, who are you again? Who are you again? You're TYXQZR, you know, and your profile picture is a bunny rabbit. Like, I don't know. It cracks me up. Like, I don't hide, dude. If I got something to say, you know, I say it. I don't hide. And if anything, I'm putting out content, speaking my mind. I'm braver than you know. But I like it. It's a really good podcast. And where I work third shift and stuff, like, I don't know. It's dope. But we do have plans as far as like the channel. And I know I'm going on and on, but we do have plans as far as the channel. For my birthday, we're gonna try to do like a little paranormal documentary. These are my choices. We're gonna try to go to either the Bell Witch Cavern in Tennessee. It'd be a day trip and like a little short mini documentary. That, or there's Hopkinsville Goblin Cabin. If we can find it, we might try to do that and make a little mini documentary. Or there's this place called Land Between the Lakes here in Kentucky, and there's a lot of Dogman sightings there. So we might go out in the woods and try to find Dogman. So, and we'll film all that. So that's something to look forward to. Hopefully it comes through. I mean, if it doesn't, it doesn't. It's getting super cold here in Kentucky, so God knows, you know. But anyways, let's get on to the episode. Today we are going to be covering the assassins. And I lost my spot, so give me a second. Sorry about that. But yeah, this is going to kind of be finalizing the Secret Society episode series that we've been doing. You can check out the older Secret Society episode videos if you want to kind of see how it all ties together, because each of these episodes has tied together. It's become like a mini series at this point. And that doesn't mean that we won't ever cover any more secret societies, but literally every episode that I've done has tied in together. So you might want to start it from the beginning of the Secret Society series. But today's specific secret society is the Assassins. The Assassins. One of the most mysterious groups from this period was an Islamic sect known as Nizari Ismailis, or Hashashin, which is how you get the word assassin, Hashashin. The legend of these warriors, who were greatly feared by crusaders, was spread by breathless report from Marco Polo, who spoke of an earthly paradise filled with wine, honey, and lovely maidens who catered to assassins upon the successful completion of their mission. The strange but fearsome group was called into being after the Islamic Empire was seized in 1072 by the ultra-violent Turkish Seljuks, led by Malik Shah. As Sunni Muslims, the Seljuks posed a threat to followers of the Shiite sect of Islam, which included the Persian Nizari and a branch known as Ismailism. To defend themselves against the Turks, a leader named Hassan-i-Sabah established a Nizari Ismaili state in Persia, ruled for Alamut Castle in today's Rudbar region of Iran. In time, the Nizaru captured a string of strongholds throughout Persia and Syria, from which they harassed the Sunni occupying forces. As part of their guerrilla tactics, the Nizari developed a special military wing known as the Fidayeen, with the mission to assassinate prominent figures such as Sunni caliphs, sultans, and viziers, as well as crusader leaders. So it sounds like they were fighting actually a lot more people than the Crusaders. I specifically thought they were only fighting the Crusaders and the Knights Templar. So, hey, I'm learning with you, you know. By the way, like the Assassins, they were like definitely made popular with like the Assassin's Creed video games and stuff. I actually didn't really know much about the Assassins. I mean, I had studied the Crusades, and then I didn't know the difference for the longest time of a Crusader and a Templar until I started basically getting red pilled and learning about secret societies, and I'm like, oh, they're like the same but different, you know. And then of course you can't learn about the Templars without learning about their enemies, the Assassins, you know, which is why this tied in with the last episode of the Secret Society miniseries. So check it out if you want. Let's see. Inevitably, stories of these fierce warriors began to spread in Europe, adding to the mystique of the Muslim fighter. William of Tyre, a 12th century historian of the Crusades, wrote extensively about assassin exploits in Syria, while Dante Alighieri, who wrote Dante's Inferno, referred to a wicked assassin in his Divine Comedy. The Nizari were ultimately defeated by the invading Mongols in 1256. Some modern authors seek a parallel between the assassins and terrorist organization ISIS. But the Hashashin were Shia, where ISIS is Sunni. And while the Hashashin targeted only leading Sunni leaders and crusaders, not civilians. ISIS urges a random assault on anyone who does not submit to their brand of Salafi jihadism. But that's one source Here's another source about the assassins. They were disparagingly called Hashashin. Users of hashish is what the name Hashashin means, by their enemies. From the Arabic term comes from the name of one of the most history's feared and influential secret societies, the Assassins. The Assassins were born in Persia out of the 7th century schism in Islam, following the death of the Prophet Muhammad. The break created two warring factions, Sunnis and Shia, who today still often engage in sectarian violence against each other. In time, the Shias split yet again, resulting in the Twelvers and the Ismailis. So there was another group called the Twelvers. The Ismailis practiced an obscure form of Islam that placed emphasis on the hidden teachings and meaning of the Quran. So more of an occultic view of the Quran. Sometime during the 1090s, a group of Ismailis under the command of Hassan I Sabah seized the Sunni fortress of Alamut, the Eagle's Nest, located on the south edge of the Caspian Sea in present-day Iran. There he established his base of operations. His enemies surrounded Hassan, Sunnis, as well as other Shias, whom he had alienated over differences regarding succession of leadership within the Ismaili sect, despised him. His followers, however, revered their leader. They would kill or die on command on the one called the Old Man of the Mountain. That actually goes pretty deep into like Phoenician belief system and stuff. Jordan Maxwell, if you guys have ever heard of him, check him out. He does amazing lectures on like Phoenician religion and how it turned into like Judaism, and it was kind of like this weird like cult that lived next to a mountain. They believed the old man on the mountain, and he would be able to. I'm obviously butchering it. Like I could never compare myself to Jordan Maxwell, but he goes deep, and his knowledge is insane. Let's see. His will, they believed, was the will of Allah, the Muslim God. But Hassan did not break by rank and supreme authority alone. Fierce warrior disciples, called the Assassins by Christian crusaders, supported him with a vow to destroy his enemies. The assassin's weapon of choice was the dagger, and the royal court or the mosque the preferred site of execution. Hassan's attack on rival Islamic groups, however, splintered the Arab world. When the Crusaders arrived in the Holy Land in 1099, they discovered an enemy divided by the chaos and suspicion that resulted from the assassins' activities. So honestly, in 2020, it hasn't changed. It's still divided over there, you know. One such example occurred in 1101, when assassin daggers cut down the Prince of Emesa while he was en route to assist Kurdish allies fighting the Crusaders, writes author Norman Mackenzie in Secret Societies. Hassan may not have intended to aid the Christian invaders, but he did help the Crusaders to entrench themselves in the Levant, the region of the eastern coast of the Mediterranean Sea, north of the Arabian Peninsula, and the south of Turkey. Hassan died in 1124 at age 90, having ruled the Persian Ismailis for nearly 35 years. His first two successors maintained the old man's tradition of killing major political and religious rivals. The killers asserted that if they died, they would go straight to that paradise. According to David V. Barrett in Secret Societies, an unbiased history of our desire for secret knowledge, during these years, assassins were often inserted into royal courts as sleeper agents. where they waited, often for years, for a secret signal to execute the ruler. However, Hassan's fourth successor, Hassan II, was a renegade. He claimed he was the Mahdi, God's direct mouthpiece, and succeeded from Islam to form his own religion, breaking from Muslim law. Hassan II allowed his followers to drink alcohol and eat pork. But Hassan's second spiritual revolution did not sit well with everyone, and he was assassinated by his brother-in-law. The Persian assassins returned home to a more orthodox Muslim faith, while the Syrian branch of the assassins, led by Rashid ad-Din Sinan, began to murder for financial gain rather than for religion and political power. The Syrian assassins, situated mainly in Assyria mountains near the fortress of Masyaf, had regular dealings with the Crusaders, sometimes fighting on the side to maintain power against Muslim enemies, and other times joining Muslim forces to fight against the Christians. Joel Levy, in the Secret Society's Bible, writes that the Syrian assassins considered converting to Christianity in 1173. So it sounds like, honestly, the Crusaders and the assassins at some point in time, like here and there, would actually join forces, which is wild. To take advantage of the beneficial tax laws, but were blocked by other Christian groups jealous of their prerogatives. The Syrians are also believed to have bought off the Knights Templar with annual payments of gold to avoid military conflict with them. That's not surprising. The Knights Templar were sketchy as hell. When the Mongols stormed to the Eastern Arab world in the mid-13th century, the assassins, like their neighbors, fell beneath the sword. The fear inspired by the assassins was nothing to the horror used by the Mongols to break their enemies' morale. The assassin terrorists were themselves out-terrorized, writes Norman Mackenzie. The assassins surrendered to their fortresses, and the strongholds were razed to the ground. The Mongols annihilated the Persian Ismailis, while the Syrian assassins fell to the Mamelukes and the enemy of the Mongols in about 1265. Some assassins ended up as hired killers at the Egyptian court. So that's pretty crazy, like mercenaries for Egypt. That's kind of neat. Small parts of the assassin society spread to India and Russia, no longer a political power, leaving the Sunnis the dominant player in the Muslim world. Now let's get into the explorer and the old man of the mountain. One of the earliest reports of the assassins to reach Europe is found in the accounts of the explorer Marco Polo, who traveled through Persia in 1273. Polo tells how the old man planted a garden in a fortified valley between two mountains. Twin Peaks. Fruits of every kind grew in the lush garden, through which streams of milk, wine, and honey flowed. The valley featured ornate palaces, dancers, singers, and musicians, a literal paradise on earth. Scholars believe the fortress was Alamut. In his court, the old man of the mountain kept teenage men with a taste for soldiering. The young men were drugged, so that when they awoke, they believed their leader had indeed transported them to paradise. Haha, that's like some cult shit. That's awesome. When the old man required the blissful youth's military services, they, the assassins, were drugged again and sent out to slay so and so, and when thou returnest, my angels shall bear thee back into paradise. Thus it happened that no man ever escaped when the man of the mountain desired his death. Now, where does this leave us? What is the assassins' legacies? The assassins were strongly linked to belief practiced by other secret societies. Hassan I is said to have preached reincarnation, as did the Pythagorean Brotherhood. The Ismailis also believed that Holy Scriptures contained hidden and secrets and hidden meanings, so the occult knowledge of the Quran. Much like the Kabbalists and Pythagoras, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn would later mirror the assassins' belief in the hierarchy of initiation. So we did a whole episode, like I said, this is a mini-series. We did a whole episode on the Order of the Golden Dawn. So definitely go out and go check that one out. I do have plenty of info on, I believe, the Pythagorean Brotherhood. So I can do an episode on that if you guys want. We can keep this series going, Once down a rabbit hole, it leads to other rabbit holes. So if you guys want to hear about that, we can definitely do an episode on that. Just let me know in the comments, I try to do what you guys want, but not a lot of people comment. So feel free to. I'm not going to bite your head off or nothing. But yeah, so Order of the Golden Dawn basically mirrored the assassins' hierarchy of initiation. The assassins greatly influenced the Knights Templar in a number of ways. It is known the two groups had contact in Syria before the Templar rule. The Knights Templar Code of Conduct was written in 1128. There is little disagreement that Hughes de Payens, the Burgundian knight who founded the Knights Templar, patterned his new organization directly on the assassins. Their cause was the same, to serve as paramilitary force fighting on the side of their respective religions. The hierarchy of the Templars, from lay brothers to grandmaster, closely echoed the hierarchy of the assassins. So it sounds like they inspired the Templars in a way too. Even the clothing worn by the two groups was similar. The assassins wore a white tunic with red belts and caps. The knights wore white tunic with the red cross. So there you have it, y'all. Order of the Assassins, Secret Society. But I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, I'm not giving up on this fight. I'm still going to try to teach the occult, teach about secret societies, teach about conspiracies, teach the truth, teach what basically you're not going to hear on mainstream media. I will not give up that fight. They're going to have to take me down like William Cooper. Y'all have a good day.
We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.